Stacking wins, I'm never done. On the field, I'm number one. Pressure.
Welcome to the Man Utd stream. Hope you're doing well. We've got a crazy show for you today. Yes, it's all going off at United. It's all going off. I cannot believe we've got so much news coming out of Man Utd. What is going on this week? What is going on? I mean, after that crazy game against Bournemouth, it's just been non-stop news after news. You put your phone down and you think, right, probably going to get a quiet afternoon. No. Quiet evening? No. I mean, I wasn't even planning to do this live stream, but there was so much news. I was like, well, look, do you know what? I'm going to have to sit down for quite some time and give you an update on everything that's going on with Man United. The news coming out about Semenyo, about Kobbie Mainoo. Now we've got Casemiro news. We've got Bruno Fernandes giving interviews left, right and centre, lifting the lid on what's going on at Man United. Then we're getting news across the city about Pep Guardiola possibly leaving Man City at the end of the season. What is all this about? We're going to fill you in, of course, so make sure you're relaxed. Go grab yourself a cup of tea or a drink or whatever you want to do. Sit down, relax, make sure you hit the like on the stream. And, of course, if you're not already a subscriber to the Man Utd stream channel, hit that subscribe button and drop your comments. Let us know. This is interactive. The whole point about having this show is about it being interactive so you guys can speak to us, tell us what you're thinking about what's going on at United and the news. What is going on with the news? Everything about Kobbie Mainoo. It has a big fallout with the fans. Some fans agree with what his brother did. Some fans are now saying, no, they're not happy with it. But there's some crazy news out today about Kobbie Mainoo actually having some insight to what his brother was going to do. In fact, some are saying that it was encouraged by Kobbie Mainoo, but we'll discuss that in this show in detail. So don't go anywhere. And if you want to, make sure you share this stream with other people so we can all join together as a Man Utd community and discuss what the hell is going on at Old Trafford, at Man Utd. Anyway, let's start with the news concerning Casemiro. Now, this is just breaking, and we're hearing from a number of sources that Man Utd are looking to extend Casemiro's contract. Yes, there was lots of talk of this a couple of months ago. We were talking about how Casemiro is going to see his contract out. United will be offering him a new contract, but it was going to be on a considerably less salary. And we were all saying, well, no, he's not going to accept something like that. He's going to go off to Saudi or somewhere else where he gets paid the big bucks, where he can make some serious money just before he retires. Most players want to do that. He might go off to the Saudi League or he might go off to the MLS, get paid a big wad of money, and then he can call it a day. That's what we all thought. However, in today's news coming out, sources are reporting that Casemiro is going to be offered a decent new contract extension, and it's more than likely he will end up taking it. In fact, the sources are saying that Man Utd are actually desperate to keep Casemiro. I have no idea why. I really don't. I mean, am I missing something here? Yes, he's good. Yes, he's playing well right now for Man Utd. Is he essential to our future plans? Of course he's not. So why are we going to keep someone like Casemiro when we can go out there and maybe buy someone cheap, buy someone better? I mean, surely the Gomez from Wolves is probably a better option. I know his salary is going to be a lot of money, but what? It just does not make any sense to me. Does not make any sense. Nish, welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well. Sorry, not in a million years, Nish says. Yeah, exactly, man. What is all that about? Keeping Casemiro? I swear, I had to read it about 5 times. I read it and then I was like, nah, this can't be true. Is this someone just making up crap? Then I read it again. Then I went off to some other source, checked it out, and I was like, shit, this looks like it's genuine. United desperate to give Casemiro an extension. For what for? What for? He's having a half-decent season. Yes, he's playing well right now. United keep on making the same mistake time and time again. Why do they not learn from what they've done in the past? Do not just pay out a player and give him a contract extension just because what he's doing right now in these couple of games. Let's see. Wait till, end of the season. There's no rush in keeping him. And if he wants to leave, and if there's other offers being tabled by other clubs, whether it's the Saudi League or whatever, then let it be. Let it be. Because right now we're paying huge amounts of money to Casemiro, who is playing 60 minutes for us. 60, 70 minutes. If we're lucky, he might reach the 80 mark. And then after that, nothing. Nothing. Let me know if you can hear me properly, guys, because earlier today I did my live stream and I had lots of music playing in the background, my soundtrack, and then But anyway, I'm sure you can. Nish says just get Gomez in January. It makes more sense to go if you really want someone like Casemiro. I mean, he is the next Casemiro, surely. So why not bring in someone young, someone more hungry, someone to prove a point, who's still got a point to prove? So you bring in someone like that, and of course, he's not going to be on the same salary as Casemiro. So I'm hoping that this is not 100% true. I'm hoping that United might have, some information might have come out about United possibly offering him a contract, but I hope United are not going to offer him a contract bettering what they're already doing, what they're already giving him. It should not be the case. It should not be the case. And if United will be doing that, that is big alarm bells for this United setup. I thought we were going to be different. I thought under INEOS we were going to do things differently. But we're clearly not. We're clearly not going to do things differently if we're going to offer Casemiro a huge contract and beg him to stay at Man United for another year or two. I mean, makes no sense. The guy is doing it for the World Cup. How can you not see that? He is playing well right now because he wants to play in his international team, in the World Cup, in the US. And he wants to be, obviously, he's the captain, but he wants to go in there with high form. He doesn't want anyone in the national media, in the Brazilian media, questioning why Casemiro is the international captain when he's not playing well, blah, blah, blah. That's why he's doing it. That's why. That's why we've even got Luke Shaw, who's upped his game this season. It's not all of a sudden where he's thought, I give a shit about Man United. And it's not all of a sudden Casemiro thought, right, I'm going to lay off the pies this summer. I'm going to actually go and put in graft and I'm going to come back and dedicate myself to Man United. Unfortunately, these players are just not that way inclined. They don't really care for Man United. These guys are all mercenaries. They all are mercenaries. We've had these guys sat here. They've got rid of manager after manager after manager. And why do we get taken in and gaslit so quickly? Why do we as fans start thinking, Casemiro's playing really well. He's doing really well. Shaw's brilliant. Best centre-back, left-back in the game. He's world-class. He should be picked for Man United. Like, what? Like, seriously? We need to wake up and understand that these players are only doing it to make sure that they get selected for the international teams or they have a chance of selection like Luke Shaw. Other than that, come next year, if we offer them a huge contract or keep them or whatever, next year these guys are going to be the same. They're going to be the same that they were the years before. They're not going to change. Nothing changes all of a sudden. So for me, look, I must admit, as soon as I heard the news about Casemiro, I was like, not again. Not again. Come on. Come on. I mean, you don't make the same mistake twice. You don't. And then you got to blame Man United for it. You're not going to blame Casemiro, are you? You're not going to say Casemiro is at fault because, he's getting a new contract by Man United. He's clearly sat there. I liked what I saw actually on Monday night. After United scored I think it was a Kuna goal, and Casemiro jumped out of his seat and celebrated and was really, really happy with it all. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, we were all happy. That doesn't mean we all deserve huge contracts at United. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense to me. For me, I feel like we've got to be more pragmatic. We've got to be more ruthless when it comes to the players at United and what they are doing right now. And I thought things were going to be different, but clearly they're not. They're not. INEOS are completely clueless, says Niche. Absolutely. I mean, that's what we've got. That's what we've got. Big up, Travis. What's the latest Man United takeover news? it's gone very quiet on the takeover news. There's been nothing since the last tweet that we had from the Dubai consortium. We're not quite sure whether it's still going on, whether the Glazers have put a stop to it, or whether the Glazers are still behind the scenes trying to sell Man United and get out. We don't know. We don't know. But I am hoping, I am really hoping that something is going on behind the scenes, that there is work being done behind the scenes, and we get something at the end of the season. I'm thinking maybe just because of the current season being played out, they don't want to make any announcements, don't want to do anything. So come end of the season, we might get some concrete news on a possible takeover. Most of these things do happen around about, when the World Cup's taking place. Hopefully we get some news. But yeah, thanks for your comment, Abraham. Yeah, I mean, many people have forgotten. I haven't forgotten. I swear, I keep on top of the Glazers, man. That's one thing I always do. I'm always making sure that the Glazers, are being held to account. And, of course, INEOS have now fallen into that same bracket again, because INEOS, so far, as Anish just said, they're bloody clueless. They've come in talking a big game. They've come in like, yeah, we know what we're doing. We're bringing in all these people. Look at us. We're bringing all the... But the Glazers, we love the Glazers, by the way. We lovely people. They're lovely people. So we love the Glazers. But look at us. We're changing everything on the football inside. They did a shit job, the Glazers did, but we love them. Actually, they're really good. They're really good. We're so in love with the Glazers that we, in fact, want them to stay on. We want them to stay on, and we've given them a lifeline. And but we're not. We're going to change things when it comes to the football inside of things. I mean, it makes no sense, does it? Which one is it, Jim? Which one is it? Do you like what they did to Man United, or did you not like what they did to Man United? Are you in there on their side? Are you not on their side? I mean, you can't be both, can you? Just gaslighting us all the time. Mazraoui could just come in and play the sixth role. I want to give him a chance in it. Yeah, he could. Look, Mazraoui's played there before. Leach has played there before. So we've got options. It's not like, oh my God, just because Casemiro is going to leave, we're going to be shafted. I don't think so. Especially if we're already thinking about a midfield rebuild. Why can we not then just say, right, okay, do you know what? Even if Casemiro leaves, we've still got options. We've still got options to go and bring in other people, bring in other players. And talking about bringing in other players, let me just see what Nish says. Casemiro was only meant to be short-term signing. He was. If we got Gomez, we could play him alongside Mazraoui. If we don't get a big midfielder in January or the summer, then INEOS have again lied to us. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm watching this very carefully, Nish. I'm looking at this in the January transfer window. I'm watching INEOS making their moves because there's no excuses. I mean, they're out of excuses. We heard the bullshit excuses before the summer transfer window about PSR. We haven't got any money and we can't spend too much and blah, 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 blah. But then when it came to it, there was no PSR issue. They lied to us. Why do we forget as fans so quickly? This didn't happen long ago. Remember when we got all the news of the turnover and the record profits Man United have made and blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly everyone's looked at the figures and said, wait, there was no PSI issue here. There was never a PSI issue. So Man United lied. So then most fans turned it around and said, oh, it's because, we were trying to fool the other clubs that we were buying these players from and we didn't want our pants pulled down. And that's why INEOS put this news out there about PSR, but I don't think so. I think it was to put the fans in their place and say, by the way, guys, we might sign somebody, we might not. Either way, you need to stay off our backs. That's what I think it is. I think that's what they've been telling us because they want us to not get excited, not get carried away, and expect nothing from INEOS. Best in class, we were told, yeah, best in class, my arse, right? We've just been told lies. I mean, they're both best in class in, what was it, Dan Ashworth. What happened to him? I mean, 2 months into the bloody job, and we had to pay him off. So we had to pay Newcastle a fee to get him out of there. Then we paid him off to get him out of United. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So for those who say, oh, INEOS know exactly what they're doing and there's a long-term plan, and bullshit, man. Bullshit. They don't have any plan. And even if they do have a plan in place, it's not, it's not written in stone. They don't actually know what's going to happen in the future. But one thing is for sure, come January, we will see whether these guys are serious about changing Man United's fortunes around, or whether they're just talking a big talk, just biding their time, just so the fans get taken in by it, and we just carry on this trajectory of loss after loss after loss. And there's no real investment. They're hoping that somehow we hit lucky and Ruben Amorim turn things around with this shit squad. It is a shit squad. We've got shit players in this squad still who are not good enough to play for Man United. Let's say it like it is. So we do need to go out there and improve this squad. You see it. You see it every game week. Every game week. We all watch the same bloody game, don't we? We watch it. We see what options Ruben Amorim has on the bench, and it's jack shit. He doesn't have any options off the bench. He has nobody. He looks around and thinks, right, who do I bring on for Casemiro? Okay, shit, I'm stuck. I've got Ugarte sat there. He's like-for-like replacement of Casemiro. It's not Kobbie Mainoo, despite what everyone says. Kobbie Mainoo is a like-for-like replacement for Bruno Fernandes. In that position, the role that he wants to play is Bruno Fernandes' role, the one that can go forward and play as a cam, also come back slightly. The CDM role, or the defensive midfielder, is Ugarte off our bench. That's what we've got as an option. And we all know what happens when Ugarte comes on for Casemiro. It just goes out the window. Everything goes out the window. It turns into a bloodbath. It really does. I mean, United get destroyed in that midfield. We get completely and utterly battered. I bet City get Semenyo. We just want to deflect from all the crap that's happening at the club with Bruno and Mainoo t-shirts. Do you know what? I was thinking the same thing this morning. I did the show on reporting about Semenyo. In fact, I did the show last night about Semenyo. It broke this morning, so it became like mainstream news this morning about Semenyo. I did my live stream last night, and I told you about Semenyo and how United have gone in for him. And I'm not claiming I was world exclusive. I'm not saying I was the one breaking the news, right? Okay, I wasn't the one breaking the news. There was lots of other sources reporting the same thing. But this morning, it seems like it's really, hit the scene, and everyone's talking about it, all the fan channels and everyone, it's all over social media. But I was discussing this last night about how Man United are in for Semenyo and how they're going to make a bid, and how I thought that they still wouldn't get him. And that's what I'm thinking right now. What I can see and everything that's happened in the summer with the summer transfer window and everything that I've heard, all the people that I spoke to, I can't see it happening. I really can't see it happening. Now, I'll bring up something actually now that we're talking about Semenyo. What's interesting with Semenyo, let me just bring up this. So we got the news from Ben Jacobs today. Ben Jacobs, of course, is someone who is, connected. He's on point half the time. And he said Manchester United are absolutely firmly in the race to sign a Semenyo and are prepared to consider doing the deal either in January or the summer. Ben Jacobs. And that was on the United stand. For me, I can't see it happening. I wish I could sit here and say, yes, United are going to go in and get Semenyo. We're going to make a bid. It's going to be accepted. And Semenyo is going to be the next new Man United player coming in January. But unfortunately, from what I can see, there's too many other clubs in for Semenyo. If it was just us and maybe one other club, I could say it's a 50-50 chance. But it's not just us and just a random other club. It's us, it's Man City, it's Liverpool, it's Arsenal, possibly, it's Tottenham. So there's lots of clubs all looking at the same player. So when it comes to a auction or best bid, let's be honest, United haven't got the money. Even if the INEOS pulled out their finger and said, right, we're going to spend big, even then, I feel like we won't be able to price out the likes of the Chelseas or Liverpools or Arsenals. Man City, they've got a different strategy, so they will make an offer. I don't think they'll overpay for Semenyo, but the attraction with Man City, of course, is Pep and is, of course, them always in and thereabouts, winning the league, winning the Champions League or thereabouts. But we've heard actually today, breaking news, this is that Pep could be leaving at end of the season. I can believe that. Pep doesn't like staying at clubs too long. He's actually stayed a very long time at Man City in comparison to what he normally does at other clubs. And he looks tired. I think he's tired. And I think he had a bad season last season. And I think this season, what he's thinking is, I'm gonna give it my all. And if I can end it on a high, win the league, I'll leave. And I think that's what he did. I think he might have even walked last season, but he decided to stay on and go out on a high. And I think that's what he's planning to do. So if City win the league or they get further in the Champions League, I think he'll be happy, hold his head up and walk out as one of the greatest Man City managers, greatest Premier League managers, or he'll be in that category, right? He'll definitely be one top manager in Europe. He is one of the best, what he's won at different clubs. So for me, I can see that happening. I really can. Now, there's talk of someone else jumping in, Glasner, maybe the Chelsea manager. There's lots of talk of other managers jumping into that position at Man City. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of managers will love that position because they've got a blank check, although they don't like paying big. But look at that squad that they've got already. They've assembled something great there, which will go on to become a very good team. All young top players. We saw what Cherki did the other day. I mean, what a goal that was. I mean, sensational goal. But we all knew when they were signing him that he's good. And talking about Cherki, you see, we all see when players are being signed. So when Man City went and approached Cherki to sign him, we all knew he's a class player. But then you see other clubs not really making a move for him. And you always wonder why. Why are not other clubs making a move for him? Because he's good. He had the skill to be a very good player. And we all knew he's going to come into the Premier League and he could really become a superstar at Man City. Semenyo is in that category. He is a player that is very, very good, plays with both his feet, can do everything that you want from an attacking player. So I think it's one of those things that when you look at Semenyo, you don't want to regret not actually making a bid for him. You don't want to regret not actually even going in for him. At least you can say, look, we've gone in for him, we've made a bid, and he rejected us and went somewhere else. And there's nothing. And I don't feel that it's an embarrassing thing. Not when it comes to Semenyo, not when there's so many other clubs all joining the race to sign him. And it will end up, it'll come down to personal preference. It'll come down to Semenyo and what he wants at this time of his life. Whether he actually wants to join a club that's already winning trophies or guaranteed of winning trophies, so he can go in there. In fact, I think it's made his life a little bit difficult because you can't look at any club right now in the Premier League and say, right, that club is guaranteed to win the Premier League. It's up in the air right now and it's up for grabs. Any team that can consistently play well can actually win the Premier League. We're facing Aston Villa on Sunday. And you could argue that they're in with a bloody chance of winning the Premier League. They've beat Arsenal. They're on a crazy run right now. So any team can win the Premier League right now. There's so many other teams right now in that mix that can win. And I'm saying, well, look, he can't really choose that. He can't say, right, I'm going to go to a Premier League winning team where I can guarantee myself the Premier League. And the same goes for the Champions League. The format is completely different now. You can't really pick out teams and say, right, I believe Arsenal or Bayern Munich or Real Madrid are going to win the Champions League. It's not that easy to predict anymore. So Semenyo, coming back to Semenyo, look, I hope we can go in for him. I hope there is some chance of getting him. But if I'm a betting man, I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on it. Yeah, I reckon he leaves. I bet they get Glasner in terms of Pep. Glasner hasn't signed a new contract, or City will get Luis Enrique. Let's talk about Xavi, actually. Let's talk about Xavi coming to Man City as well. So watch this space. Watch this space. I think Glasner would be a good fit for Man City. I think he'd be good. But I also feel like Man City like their long-term proven managers. So Luis Enrique fits that bill. Xavi, I'd say kind of. He's not hit the heights of Pep or Guardiola, so they might have reservations about Xavi. Of course, the most important thing with Pep was that he's gone across Europe and won with every team. And so his resume was absolutely brilliant. So Nish says City will get him. I think it's between City, Arsenal, and maybe Liverpool. Maybe. The reason why I'm saying that is because Liverpool have somewhat gone a bit cold on him. Now, Liverpool a couple of months ago, well, a month ago or so, there was lots of news coming out about Liverpool signing or going for Semenyo, having invited his representatives up to Anfield. They gave him the tour and everything else, and it looked set that Semenyo would join Liverpool. But now the noises coming out of Liverpool have gone a bit quiet. They've almost backed off a little bit. And now they're saying, well, we might go in for him and we might not. We're not quite sure. We're going to have to wait and see how things play out with Mo Salah. And I was thinking, well, no, that's not true, because Mo Salah plays on the right wing. Semenyo is going to go into the left wing. You need a left winger. So stop giving us bullshit. Stop lying to us. We know you want to sign him, but the question is, you're not quite sure whether he wants to join Liverpool. That's what it is. And I think that's the same problem with United. I think United are not 100% sure whether he's going to actually come to Manchester. And the same applies to Man City. I think, look, if City have got a chance to sign him, then we've got a chance of signing him, because then it's a matter of, well, which side of the city he prefers, right? That's all it is. But he's already mentally decided that he's going to move up to Manchester. But for most footballers, that's the biggest issue they have, which is, right, we're moving up north. Can I do it? The weather's not great. We heard from Bruno Fernandes, he's not a big fan, and his family's not a big fan of the Manchester rain. I don't know why. I mean, why not? It's lovely outside. The weather's beautiful. Yes, it rains, 360 days of the year, but, it's just rain, isn't it? It doesn't hurt you. But anyway, I know what he means. I remember back to when Patrice Evra left Man United and he was interviewed, and he said something like, oh, it's the only place I've lived where I had 0 barbecues, because I could never, ever pick a day where it didn't rain. I mean, it's true. It's true. Even in the summer, you're never quite sure whether it's gonna stay sunny or whether it's gonna rain. But anyway, talking about rain, let's move on to our next topic of the day, which is causing a lot of issues, and that is Kobbie Mainoo, guys. Kobbie Mainoo, you know what's coming, don't you? Kobbie Mainoo had his brother wore a t-shirt on Monday night. I think before the game. There's some confusion as when he did it, but in the image, it looks like there's a full crowd behind him. So it looks like he was there just before the kickoff, and he put on a t-shirt saying "Free Kobbie Mainoo," and I think that, well, we know it caused a huge upset to everybody. Sandil, how you doing? Getting Semenyo will be good news. Goals will be coming left wing and right wing, but Amorim and his selection still a concern, costing us points for nothing, starting Haven ahead of Leacher. Yeah, I agree with that one. I mean, I was kicking off when I saw the team sheet, and I was thinking, well, why have you put 2 youngsters in there next to each other? So you've got Yoro and you've got Haven. It was a recipe for disaster, wasn't it? He should have put in Leacher in hindsight, because he gives you experience. Now, yes, he might not be 100% as quick as Haven, but he's got experience on his side and he can make them decisions better, especially when it comes to defensive positioning. That Haven clearly didn't have. Lenny Euro was off the pace as well. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. But yeah, I mean, let's wait and see. I mean, Semenyo, I said earlier in today's show, I said, look, having Semenyo on the left wing and Boom on the right wing. Can you imagine what that would do to opposition defences? They would panic. They'd piss their pants. You know, just seeing the team sheet, they'd be like, OMG, how the hell do we deal with these guys? I mean, we've got Mbeumo coming on from the right wing with his left foot, deadly left foot. He's going to score. Then you've got flipping Semenyo with the right or left, and we're shafted. But it's a nice thought. It is a nice thought, and I'm gonna carry on with it, Sandil. I'm gonna carry on with it. I'm gonna enjoy this time because who knows? Anything can happen. This is football. It's crazy, and we don't know. But I do hope that we get close to signing, because if we do, then we've got a chance. We've got a chance as long as you put in an offer. Then it's all to do with personal terms, and then when it comes to discussing personal terms, it's anyone's game. Anyone can sign him. That's what I'm hoping for. We don't have to pull any more. Everyone wanted to play for the badge before. Now it's City or Liverpool. Well, we don't have the pull anymore. We do and we don't. I mean, of course, we did have for Mbeumo and Kuna and Sesko. But I know what you're saying, Anish, because the young players who are now up and coming, who probably not been around when Man United were winning everything, they probably don't even have a recollection of anything. So yeah, they might have heard it and they might have seen the players like Beckham and Scholes, but they might not have seen them. So they might be like, right, okay, yeah, Man United were great one time, but I don't really care. And if they don't offer me what I want, I'm not going to go there. And unfortunately, the makeup of the young players now is changing. Back in the day, they really did care about legacy and playing for these kind of clubs with heritage and standing, and now they don't. It simply comes down to, right, okay, number one, money. Number two, can I win some trophies? Can I live the high life? Yes, I can. I'm going to go there. And that's how I'm going to do it. Kobbie Mainoo liked Andy Goldstein's on a tweet on X where Goldstein was wearing the Free Mainoo jumper. I'm coming to that now. Yes, that is true. There is news going around that Kobbie Mainoo liked an image from Andy. Andy, is it Andy Goldstein? Yeah, Andy Goldstein. Now, if you don't know who Andy Goldstein is, he is a radio presenter on Talk Sport. He's quite vocal. He's a Man United fan, isn't he? He's a Man United fan, but he's a bit weird. I'm not a big fan of Andy Goldstein. I don't really listen to his shows, so I'm not really familiar with everything. I have heard a couple of times his shows when I'm driving or something, and I've caught him, and he's a United fan. And talks sometimes absolute rubbish. But anyway, he wore the same T-shirt that this is Kobbie Mainoo's brother's got on, Free Kobbie Mainoo, and he put it, I think it was on Instagram niche, and it was liked by Kobbie Mainoo. Now, initially, lots of people came out saying this is photoshopped, it's fake, it's not true. Kobbie Mainoo didn't do it. He didn't like it. Then later on, it changed, and a lot of people were then saying, oh, he did like it. It is true. That is Kobbie Mainoo, and it wasn't photoshopped, blah, blah, blah. So it turned into a whole new saga. Well, I thought we saw the end of it yesterday, but it clearly has taken on a new life today, and it's reignited the whole topic about Kobbie Mainoo and why he's allowed his brother to walk into Old Trafford wearing that, number one. Number two, whether he had prior knowledge of this happening. Now, the prior knowledge is very important, of course, because if Kobbie Mainoo's brother just turned up to Old Trafford wearing that, didn't tell Kobbie Mainoo or anybody, and then just pulled this stunt where he, took this picture and put it on social media on Instagram, and it obviously went wild, then you could argue, well, he's just an idiot. He's just an idiot brother, and he's just trying to get some headlines himself. He's some Z-list celebrity, had been on Love Island or something. It's a show on TV. I can't really go into it. It's like a dating show or something, whatever it is. Yeah. Anyway, so he wanted the attention. But now we're being told today, Ben Jacobs, breaking news was that Ben Jacobs goes, it's my understanding is that Kobbie Mainoo was speaking through his brother. He knew about the T-shirt and he endorsed the message. Massive statement by Ben Jacobs. He's dropped a big one there. I mean, if that is the case, Kobbie Mainoo is in a lot of problems. I mean, if he wasn't already on the list to be sold or loaned out, I think he's definitely gonna get his wish. And what shocks me is this is the caliber of the young players these days. How they've got no respect for the club. How they've got no respect for Man United. The club that's paying their wages, the club that's taken them through the academy, the club that's made them what they are today. And yet they can turn around and say, oh, screw the club, throw them under the bus, don't care whether I put them in disrepute, doesn't matter. And look, I'm not a big fan of the Glazers or INEOS, but I look at it and think, well, Man United though. You know, you've got to look at the club. It's even bigger than the Glazers. It's bigger than INEOS. They'll come and go. Owners come and go. The badge remains the badge. The club remains the club. The fans remain the fans. You don't go against the club. And this move, if he did sanction this, if he did endorse the message and say, yeah, go out there and free Kobbie Mainoo, I want to leave Man United. And this message at first, many thought, oh, it was because Kobbie Mainoo wasn't getting any minutes. But if you look deep into it, it wasn't actually. It was all about selling or letting Kobbie Mainoo leave on loan. He does no longer want to be at United. Does not want to be wearing that shirt. And why the hell would we want to hold on to players like this? I mean, look, you know my thoughts on it. I've said it many times in a previous week as well. I like Kobbie Mainoo. I like academy players. I want him to stay. I wanted him to stay. I wanted him to stay. But my opinion has changed from today. Because if he did sanction that, if he did endorse that message before this idiot went and wore that T-shirt and gave that message, then it's the end for Kobbie. It is the end. I can't back a player who doesn't want to be at United. Then for me, well, yeah, let him be. Let him go. If he thinks he's bigger and better than the club, let him go. I remember Sir Alex Ferguson saying, no one is bigger than the club. No one player. They could be superstars, whatever, but they cannot be bigger than the club. It doesn't work like that. So when it comes to Kobbie Mainoo, unfortunately, he's lost me. I've lost faith in Kobbie Mainoo. If this is true, if it turns out to be that this isn't true and Ben Jacobs is just on one, then look, I still reserve my judgment on Kobbie Mainoo. If he didn't know about it, look, then he's young, he's got an idiot as a brother, and that's it. I mean, you can't control what your family members are doing because, you know, half of them are always idiots, aren't they? They're always up to no good. You can't tell them what to do. So if this joker decided to wear this shirt, a T-shirt, just in support of his brother, but Mainoo never once told him, look, I want you to go and protest like this, then it's not Mainoo's fault. But if Mainoo said, oh, I like that T-shirt, get it on, get into Old Trafford, and yeah, I love it, then there's huge problems, man. And I can see why now you've got the likes of Ruben Amorim saying, I don't like him. Because remember what Ruben Amorim said? Was it about Garnacho? I can't remember who it was. Maybe Rashford. And he said, look, I look at players not just on the training pitch, not just on the game nights, but I look at them 360. I look at what they're doing off the pitch, what they're doing in their social life, what they're doing with their fellow teammates, what they're doing with everybody. So that is how Ruben Amorim looks at the players. He looks at them in a lot more detail than what we see them as. So he might have seen something in Kobbie Mainoo that he already looks at and says, I don't like him. I don't like his attitude. I don't like what he is like or what he's doing or what he's saying. So if he's already passed that judgment, already reached that stage, and now we're finding out about how and why Ruben Amorim wasn't convinced with Kobbie Mainoo, well then, yeah. Then he's right, isn't he? He's right. We can't have players who are not playing for the badge, not playing for the club. Yeah, but let's be real. Jerky, Rinders and Doku are better than Mbeumo, Kuna and Sesko. It's a huge problem. It is. We have got a problem in our current squad. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, exactly. Kobbie wants to go, loan him to Napoli. He doesn't want to be here anymore. It's clear he doesn't want to be here. I mean, yeah, we haven't got, but it's not just us though. You could say maybe Isak and Baleba, but no other club have this problem with players doing stunts like this. No other club has ever had a bomb squad. Yep, no, absolutely, man. We are the only club in the Premier League or in Europe in history that has had a bomb squad, a squad of players who are actively working against Man United in the Man United dressing room. Can you believe that? But that just tells you of the level that United have sank to under this ownership. And it is the ownership that's to blame, because the ownership is the one that gives them the go-ahead of getting rid of players and bringing in new players. And they've not done that. They've not sanctioned that. That's why even Bruno Fernandes, I'll come to Bruno Fernandes in a bit, but Bruno Fernandes, when he's given his recent interview out in Italy, and he's talked about looking around the dressing room and seeing players who don't give a shit, who don't want to be there and are not committed to Man United, and it makes him sad, it makes him upset seeing players like that when he's being criticised, when he's going out there every week and running off his socks. Yet he sees other players in the dressing room who are not working hard enough. Then, yeah, I get his point. And I'm sure he's alluding to the likes of, Garnacho and Rashford and the bomb squad, right? The bomb squad. And I think, look, the problem we've got is that Mainoo has picked up this. He's picked up, do you know what? It works. It works by doing these stunts out on social media. Gets me out of the club. But what my question to him is, you idiot. Do you really think there'll be other clubs, top clubs, who'd want you? I mean, look at the way Rashford's being treated right now out in Barcelona. He's been made to work his arse off just to prove that he can play for Barcelona. And it's still not guaranteed for him. He's still not going to get picked over certain players in that squad. And that's the difference. You do these kind of stunts, you're going to struggle wherever you go. Wherever you go, you're going to struggle. You're not going to be seen as the player that is professional, works hard, things like that. Your reputation will precede you. Yeah, they're going to already know what you like. So give it a rest, man. He needs better people around him. Unfortunately, the young players these days, they've just got complete plonkers all around them, and then they expect to do really well and be advised. I mean, they've got complete jokers around them. Someone needs to take hold of this situation and say to Kobbie Mainoo, shut up, sit down, work hard. You're a football player. Deal with it. Why can't you work hard? Why can't you fight for your position? That's what you do. That's what footballers did in the past. If he goes to any top club, you're going to be doing the same thing. You reckon that, you go to Real Madrid or Barcelona, you're not going to have to fight for your position? You must be having a laugh. Sandel says, if we buy Semenyo, Ruben needs to change to 4-3-3. Imagine the front three of Semenyo, Mbeumo and Ahmad. Midfield, Casemiro, Kuna and Bruno, unstoppable. That's funny you say that about the formation, Sandel, because I think we are going to end up changing. I think we're going to end up changing to a 4-3-3. I've heard more and more. I think, we discussed this when we were watching the game, or just pre the game against the build-up to against Bournemouth, and we were discussing how United had been training in a 4-4-3 formation, and that is because of the players that have gone off to the AFCON. United are going to be forced to make a bit of a change in the formation, at least to start off with, when they start off their games. I don't know whether they'll interchange, but I can see that happening. Look, Semenyo coming to United is a no-brainer. And I know many fans might be saying, well, we don't need another attacker. We need to sort out the midfield. Yes, we do. We do need to sort out the midfield. But that doesn't mean that if an opportunity arises that you simply knock it back because we're not right now we're not in the market for someone like Semenyo. He is a top player and they don't come about every single transfer window. So if we sign him now, I think he will be... someone actually said he is like Sadio Mane when he was at Southampton before Liverpool signed him. So that is, if that's not high praise, I don't know what is. Sadio Mane, I mean, we all know what he ended up doing at Liverpool. He was just sensational. In fact, I'd say that he was hard done by. I think when he went off, I felt a bit sorry for him. I think he could have had a couple more years at Liverpool, but he went off to Bayern Munich. He didn't really do well at Bayern. But yeah, let me play a clip from the Roy Keane and Ian Wright discussing the Kobbie Mainoo issue. Yeah, it was interesting. I found it interesting anyway. Let me just play this clip.
His brother's put that on, and it's not helped him.
No, there's no evidence that he's not training.
This is the thing.
Are you coming after the match and your brother? Did your brother ever do that?
No.
If my other brother done that, you'd be looking going,
what are you doing?
You know what I mean? You would. And do you know what? Do you reckon his brother done it without asking him? Free. He's under contract. He's on a.
He's only played 190 minutes this season against Grimsby.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. And how did that go?
No, my point is though.
Sometimes that's the only one you get.
But
you take it. If you're coming back on the bus after Grimsby, you're on that bus with United players, and they're sitting there, whatever, and you're going, "We just lost it from Grimsby," and you've had that opportunity, and someone says, "You know, you're not going to get a chance for another 6 months." I don't expect to get another chance for 6 months, but I can't beat Grimsby.
We will disagree on stuff like that because I've said before, when you make 6 or 7 changes in a game, and which they did, I always think it's really difficult for that team to come in and hit the ground running. And look, you should have beat Grimsby. No excuses around that.
You don't say, Gary. You think United should have beat Grimsby, yeah?
But it wasn't all on Kobbie. They were all cross,
Exactly.
weren't
Thank you.
They were all terrible that night. They were all shocking.
Yeah, but when everyone else is terrible, Gary, you make sure you're good. Because let me tell you, it's very easy to be good in a bad team. So you rise above that. I'm telling you. Do you know what? We defend the players as well too much sometimes on here.
No, but like...
I love Roy Keane. You know what? Roy Keane sums it up. Sums it up for me anyway. I know there's some people, obviously, some might take the viewpoint of Gary Neville and might be like, oh, look, you've got to defend him. He's young, blah, blah, blah. And then Roy Keane's like, oh, but it's bullshit. You don't allow that. You don't allow that kind of rubbish. You don't bring your own club into disrepute because what? You're not getting game time. You're not getting any game time. You of course, you argue the point and say, well, look, yeah, I'm going to fight for my position. I'm going to rise to the challenge. You don't just flip and tell your brother to wear a bloody T-shirt and start causing problems for United out on the field. It's just ridiculous. Temez, I hope I pronounced the name right. Temez says, yes, I like Carlos Blaber and Semenyo, Schlotterbeck, Anderson, Gallagher, Benzema to United is better for next season. Please, INEOS, make plan for Amorim, please. Do you know what? That is a very crazy... That's a good lineup, I must admit. Schlotterbeck... I love Schlotterbeck. I think he would be amazing at United. I think he'd be amazing at any Premier League club. He's just got that stature of just a brilliant centre-back. And yeah, I think he's someone that, again, these are the type of players that I look at, and you've mentioned as well, Temez, and you've said, oh, Schlotterbeck. Now, I always think the same. I always think, oh, yeah, Schlotterbeck. I remember when Isaac was playing out in Real Sociedad, and I was saying, oh, this kid Isaac looks wicked. This kid Isaac looks wicked. Why are United not making a move? Why are United not sending scouts out to see Isaac? And then suddenly Newcastle make the approach, get him for next to nothing. I think, what was it, 50, 60 mil or something? It was nothing. It wasn't a lot anyway. And I remember thinking, what? Why didn't United go and sign this kid? He's wicked. And he would have come to United over Newcastle. But Schlotterbeck is another one of those kind of players. And I know you've mentioned a few other names in there, like Gallagher, Benzema, maybe. I mean, Benzema, I still think he's still got something to offer. I still think someone like that around the team, experienced player, is good. Gallagher, Niche, I believe, has been saying that Gallagher is going to end up at United. Look, I think Amorim needs to be backed. Whatever it is, Amorim needs to get backed this January and the summer. Because if he doesn't actually get the players in January, then I'm really worried about his future at the club. I really am. I'm not quite sure whether he'll survive if they don't back him. It kind of will give you an insight to what INEOS really think about Ruben Amorim, because we did hear a couple of days ago about rumours about how United or INEOS were looking at maybe bringing in Glasner. Glasner hasn't signed a new extension, new contract, so that he's up for grabs. And United are thinking, maybe, should we go for Glasner? Should we not? Should we stick with Ruben Amorim? Shall we wait for the end of the season? But we are being told that end of the season, if it comes end of the season and United haven't qualified for the Champions League spots, it might be the end of Ruben Amorim. But will we have lost out on Glasner by then? Because it might be that City are also looking for a manager, and that's going to be crazy. Levy, welcome to the show. Says United are one of the top 2 to 3 largest clubs in the world. There should never be an instance where United are letting a 20-year-old create this kind of public disruption. Absolutely, 100%. Spot on. Great comment, because why? Why are we allowing these kids? And they are kids. Let's be honest, they're kids. Mainoo, Rashford. Okay, maybe Rashford, you could argue that he was a bit older. Garnacho. They've all... And Sancho. Remember the kick-off he had with Eric Ten Hag? And I can't believe that there were still some fans, even at that point, saying, yeah, Sancho's not done anything wrong. And you're thinking, no, he should not be publicly calling out his manager over social media posts. That is a no-no. I don't care who it is. I don't care if he's the very best player of United. And I'm coming on to Bruno Fernandes, actually. I'll come on to Bruno Fernandes in a minute, because he's done something similar. And I also believe that, look, even someone like him needs to be brought into line, and someone needs to have a word with him about calling out the club, essentially. But again, it's INEOS, so I might give him a bit more leave it. And he is, he's saying, look, yeah, I love the club. It's just the people who are currently running the footballing side of things, and we all know who that is. I wish we'd bought Kante. He'd still be with us today. Oh, come on, man. Niche, that is crazy. Come on. I mean, of course, that is one of those signings that you look back and think, who the hell did not see Kante coming, right? But I think a lot of clubs will be thinking that. I think a lot of clubs will be thinking, why didn't they go and sign someone like Kante? But this is why you've got to be in the race to win the race. And this is why I was talking about Semenyo, and I was saying, well, look, the good news is that United are going to pull their finger out and actually join the race. Whether they're going to win the race to sign Semenyo, no one knows. But at least we can say we're going to take part. The worst thing we can do as a club is say, we'll give it a miss, thank you very much. Semenyo, you decide to go with whoever else. We're going to give it a miss, thank you. We'll go and sign, I don't know, someone else like Gallagher, or you know what I mean, don't you? If we're not in to sign these kind of players, then we might as well give up now. So when Kante came available, Chelsea were the only club that really had the balls to say, right, we're buying him. Chelsea were the only club that was saying, right, we're going to go and buy Casado. We're going to throw the money at this player because we believe in them. And when they come good, then everyone's like, whoa, he was only 100 mil. Wow, that's pretty good. Look at Declan Rice now at Arsenal. You take Declan Rice out of Arsenal and they're a completely different team. But right now, everyone's like, oh, why didn't we sign Declan Rice? We did have the flipping chance to sign Declan Rice. We did. But we didn't enter the race because we were still, pussyfooting around. We were still thinking, we had the chance of signing Harry Kane. He would have come to Man United, hands down, before he went to Bayern Munich. Imagine if he was here right now. But again, we just didn't enter the race. We didn't. Ten Hag, to his credit, was literally begging the Man United board to go and sign Harry Kane. He was saying, please go and sign Harry Kane. Trust me, he is very, very good and he will make a difference to this Man United team. But the board thought, no, he's too old. We're not going to do that. INEOS were like, no, do you know what? No, we're going to go for young players. We're going to go for younger players to bring in, and we're going to change the way we've been operating in the transfer market. I don't consider giving Casemiro an extension as backing Amorim niche. Yeah, I don't either. I think that's flipping shooting him in the foot, isn't it? That's like saying, do you know what? We're not going to go and sign another midfielder for you, a top midfielder, but we will just give you this, old man instead, and he can carry on playing in your team. Of course, Ruben Amorim doesn't want him there. So Ruben Amorim is making good of what he has right now. But if you truly asked Ruben Amorim, you know he would clear out a lot of these players and only keep a handful. You know that he would do that. Absolutely. Because he knows this is not Sporting. He says it lots of times. This is not Sporting. This is Man United. You need to see results immediately. You can't lose at United. You haven't got the time to lose. So he knows that he can't develop players and take it easy, and the pressure's on him right now. He must win every single game or he is looking at getting the sack. And Mainoo just screwed his England career under Tuchel with the T-shirt stunt. Tuchel would never allow the T-shirt crap. No, he wouldn't. Again, this is why I just find it really strange that someone around him had said, oh, that's a good idea. I bet you his brother sat down and said, oh, look what I made. And he's probably thought, oh, you should wear that. I might wear that to Old Trafford. And Mainoo said, yeah, you should. Yeah, let's do it. I'm presuming that's what's happened. I'm sure behind closed doors that's what's happening. Yeah, you're right. We could have got Conte. Erik ten Hag is better than Amorim. That's a comment. That's a comment niche. I mean, I think when we had Ten Hag at the time, many people I think didn't realise that he was doing a good enough job for United. He was taking us in the right direction. But I just feel like his man management and his communication skills were not up to par to be a Man United manager. That's all. I think that's why he got the sack. I think INEOS wanted someone who was a bit more forward-facing, someone who could manage the crowd, manage the whole atmosphere in the press rooms when it gets hostile. So that's why. Anyway, let's move on to our last story of the day, and that is, of course, finishing off on Captain Bruno Fernandes. I'm halfway through watching his interview with Rio Ferdinand, and the question I had in my head was this interview recorded before his interview that went viral a couple of days ago with, I think it's Canal or something, out in Italy, where he talked about, the board not having the balls to sell him, and they let him make that decision. I need to find out whether this was recorded before or after, because it's very important. It's very important because what he's talking to Rio Ferdinand about is very much quite, okay, I love the club. I'm working hard. I get upset with criticism because I'm really putting in everything, blah, blah, blah. But he mentions, so far, he's not mentioned anything about him going to Saudi. He's not mentioned anything about leaving and playing for other clubs. And that's going to be interesting. So I'm going to watch the rest of the interview. But the news coming out doesn't look promising either for Bruno Fernandes or Man United, because whatever you make of it, Bruno Fernandes is probably going to leave at the end of this season. I really can't see him staying. I really can't. When a player starts talking like this, you know the writing's on the wall. You know that he's actually sending out a signal to the rest of the clubs around Europe saying, I'm available, come in and make your offers. I want to start talking. Come and contact my agent. Let's start talking, personal terms. Let's get something in place. That's the purpose of him coming out, talking about his potential move away in the summer to a Saudi club, and his potential move maybe now to a club across Europe, maybe Spain, maybe Italy, maybe even Portugal. That's what he said. And it's interesting. So just in Saudi Arabia will try to sign Bruno Fernandes in the summer. There's a possibility he moves to Saudi after the World Cup. That's from Ben Jacobs. Wow. I mean, that is, he's saying it, but you know what that means. That means that he's more than likely he's gonna be going. I can't see him staying. I've said it already. I called it out in the summer. I said I think he's going to leave in the summer. I was really surprised that he actually didn't leave in the summer, because I had him down as leaving. At one point, I did think, well, if he leaves, we're shafted because we haven't got anyone else. And his numbers are still being very good this season. He's still very important for us as a player. How we're going to replace him, I have no idea. And, well, this is where it comes down to INEOS. What are they planning? Because if they lose Bruno Fernandes, even if they get a huge amount of money as a result of his sale, so let's say on a good day we make 100 mil on Bruno Fernandes. I don't think we're going to get that much money, but let's say we do. Let's say we get 100 mil for Bruno Fernandes. Who would you bring in to replace Bruno Fernandes? That's an interesting question. Drop it in the comments. Let me know who you would bring in. Stanzil says, we need to keep Amorim for his ruthlessness. That's how the team is built. We never had a ruthless manager for the past 20 years. We've had player power. We need to back him for now. See what Mainoo is doing. I agree with you, Sandil. I think whatever happens, we can't allow the players to dictate what is going to happen to the club. I've had enough of that shit, I swear. We've seen it, it doesn't work. We've seen players dictate things, but they only do it when they want easy lives. No player wants to work hard. No player wants to fight for his team place in the first 11. No player wants to work hard in training just so he can play on the weekend. That's what the players are like. And when they get a sniff at having the power to cause problems within the squad, within the team, within the club, and get the manager sacked, of course they're going to try and get that done. Especially when they're not being picked or when things aren't going right, they will want to get the manager out. And I think that's what message INEOS are sending to the players. That, guys, you've done this too many times. You've done it in the past, and now we're putting a stop to it. We're putting a stop to it. You've got used to getting rid of your managers time and time again. The moment he makes you work hard, the moment he questions your loyalty, the moment he questions your abilities, you want him out. But enough's enough. And I think I'd stick with that. Yes, Amorim is making mistakes. Yes, he's not the finished article, but for now, I think it's a lesser of two evils. Do we get rid of the manager and allow these players to stay, or do we allow these players to actually go? We need to get rid of these players, and we all know who they are. I mean, I don't need to sit here and start going through a list of the players that we all know are just constantly working behind the scenes to get rid of managers when they're not happy, when they're not being picked. So that's it, guys. That's the end of the stream. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you hit the like before you leave, or if you're watching this later on. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Nish. Thank you, Sandal. Thank you, everybody else. Levy. Who else was? Temez as well. Thank you. And who else? There was a few others as well. Abraham as well. Guys, appreciate your input. Always enjoy talking to the fan base and finding out where you stand on things. Let's wait and see what happens with Semenyo. One thing I can definitely guarantee, there are going to be huge fireworks come the 1st of January. Make sure you enjoy yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. You watching the Man Utd Stream channel, a channel by the fans for the fans.